Allen's Heating and Cooling is your licensed Amana equipment dealer. Trust Allen's Heating and Cooling to install and service your heating and cooling unit. Allen services all brands, and with the purchase of a new Amana, offers a lifetime compressor warranty. Call Sean Clark or any of his friendly staff at Allen's Heating and Cooling, your Amana dealer. Amana lasts and lasts and lasts.
Welcome. Thank you for coming out today to our 2022 post-legislative luncheon. We got a great program for you today, and we got some great sponsors. I hope you've enjoyed your lunch, and if you would now bow with me and let's return thanks. Heavenly Father, we thank you again for our beautiful new day of life that you've given us. Lord, we thank you for this great community that you provided where we can live and learn and work and play together for your glory. And we thank you for our leaders, Lord, our representatives that are here today. Lord, I ask that you grant them wisdom to continue to work as unto you, and that they would make decisions that would be pleasing to you to lead our communities together. And Lord, we thank you for the food that's been provided. We ask that you bless it to the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to your service. In Christ's name, amen. Amen. If you would now, please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. As I mentioned, we've got some great sponsors today, and they're always on board with us for this program. We really appreciate the folks at Altamaha and Oconee EMC, and so to begin our program today, I'm going to ask Ms. Tammy Vaughn with Altamaha EMC to come to the podium. Please help me give her a warm welcome.
Thank you, Heath. Good afternoon. Thanks to each of you on behalf of Altamaha EMC and Oconee EMC for taking time out of your day to be here with us. I think this post-legislative and pre-legislative event that we co-sponsor each year is one of the best things that we can do for our communities, a chance to hear from Representative Hatchett and Senator Walker. And so thank you for being here to support them and to support us in today's event. And at this time, I'll turn it over to Jennifer Bryant from Oconee EMC. Oh, yeah, one thing I do want to mention, thank you, Jennifer, for reminding me. On each table, you'll find a flyer for an upcoming golf tournament that's going to be at Dublin Country Club that Altamaha EMC is sponsoring. It's not until October, but the way time's flying, that'll be here really soon. And that golf tournament is a charitable event to benefit the Burn Foundation, which supports the Doctors Hospital in Augusta. And that particular organization is near and dear to the hearts of all of the EMCs and other electric utilities in Georgia, because that's where we send our linemen in the tragic times when they're burned or something. So if any of you who own a business would be interested in supporting that golf tournament with a sponsorship or a player or a team, my contact information is on that flyer, and I do have extras. So if somebody else grabs the flyer from your table and you'd like an extra one, just please see me or George. We're matching shirts today, so you can't miss us. All right, thank you.
Thank you. And as Tammy said, Oconee is so excited to co-sponsor this event each year. We are just excited about those that we have in office that we elect to serve us, and they do just that. So we are very excited to have our state senator and representative, as well as a community update with our mayor and county administrator. So at this time, we will begin the program. So gentlemen, when I call your name, if you can go ahead and come take your seat as I call your name. We have State Senator Larry Walker, who is the chairman of the Agricultural Committee and the vice chairman of the Majority Caucus. We have State Representative Matt Hatchett, who is now the Majority Caucus Whip. And from the local level, now we have Mr. Brian Rogers, who is our Lawrence County Administrator. And we have Mayor Joshua Kite with the City of Dublin. I think we can all agree that we are a blessed community to have these gentlemen represent us on the state and local level.
Spring is here and it's a great time to buy or sell your home or property, and great deals are popping out all over. So call agent Brian Howell, Charlene Lamb, Adam White, David Deeds, Jennifer Bradley, Jay Brantley, Jim Jarrett, Ruth Watson, Charlene Brantley, Raina Duberly, Yvonne Robertson, or broker George Durden. And get the help you need when it comes to buying or selling a home or property. Log on to c21dublin.com, call 272-1535, or stop by our location on Veterans Boulevard in Dublin today. Century 21 Durden Cornegay, broker George Durden.
I'm Heath Richter, and we just want to invite everybody to come on down to the Houston Clinic and check us out at our new facility. We've been in Dublin for a while now, obviously, but have a new office here, and we'd just like you to come down and see some of the new stuff we're offering. And if you need to get checked out, we'd be glad to do that for you. We've got able to do some ultrasound guided injections now, and physical therapy, and just a little bit better space. So hopefully we can get you in and out of here a little bit quicker.
Come by and see us today at our brand new location, the Houston Clinic, Medical Drive in Dublin.
Thank you for the introduction there. It's good to see everyone again. This is a great event to get an update, give an update on what's happening at our local and state levels. I'm going to be brief because I know you mostly want to hear what's happening at the state level, but I do want to go over a few. So I do want to go over a few items of significance that are happening at the local level. You know, the four things I look at from a city point of view is providing safety, services, beauty, and community activities for the citizens of Dublin. So on the safety front, with our police department, I want to mention two new things that are happening. One is that City Council has funded computers in the patrol cars and have increased the number of patrols in the community. So what we've done is eliminated sort of a middle layer of management and gotten more officers out into the street and out into the cars. And then we're allowing them to stay in the cars longer by actually having the computer systems in the vehicles so they don't have to go back to the station to do reports. With those two things, that's eliminating the middle management layer and providing the technology in the vehicles. We've dramatically increased the amount of time that the patrol officers actually spent on the streets. And I think that you can see that as you drive around now. There's a lot more patrols going on in the community. And ultimately, crime is deterred whenever potential criminals believe that they may be caught. And they believe they may be caught when they see patrol cars going around. The second safety initiative that we're going to try this year is a pilot program for providing camera systems to citizens that live in neighborhoods that have been identified as having high property crimes. So if you're in the city of Dublin and you live in a neighborhood that maybe has been targeted for property crimes, then the city police department under this grant program will provide a ring-style camera system that will actually be provided by Singo to be placed on the front porch or the front of the house. The feed from that camera system, which uses a cellular network, will be available to the citizens so they can monitor who comes in and out of the house. But also, in case of a report of a crime, they would agree that that be available to the police department so they can see who was going up and down the street at the time of the incident. So this is a pilot program that the City Council is going to fund for the next fiscal year, and we hope that that's going to show some improvements in the property crime rates in neighborhoods that maybe have been hit. If it's successful, then we'll roll that out to additional neighborhoods. On the fire department, which is the other side of the safety issue, the City Council has funded a new fire station for the north side of town. That project will probably be about $1.5 million project to have a substation on the north side of town. We have also applied for a grant for a new headquarters fire station, which would probably be in the downtown or south side area, along as we applied for grants for additional firefighters. The goal is to improve the city's ISO rating. As many of you probably know, your ISO rating is determined by an industry standard on how quickly and effectively you can fight fires through your fire department. Every time that score goes down a level, it's about a 10% savings to the homeowners. So we believe that by having this new Northside Fire Station and hiring the additional officers and funding the additional trucks, that citizens of Dublin will see a 10% savings in their insurance rates. And we're hoping that that will happen in the next couple of years. On the services front, a major initiative that the city is doing is consolidating various units into the city-owned property on Truxton Street, which is between the downtown area and the bridge. Right now, city services, public works, street department, gas department, they're spread out into different parts of town. And it would be more efficient to have them all under one roof. In addition, it will get that equipment and those personnel out of some neighborhoods. If you've been to the Riverview Golf Course, you've probably seen the dump site for the street department. We've allocated $300,000 to clean that site up and move that facility over to the new Truxton Street site. We anticipate that this project will cost around $2.5 million and will take about 2 years to complete, 2 to 3 years to complete. But when we're finished with it, we'll have a consolidated municipal complex in the Truxton Street area. We believe that that will provide more efficient services and it will allow those neighborhoods to be cleaned up. The second major thing that we've done, and this is primarily with the help of our acting city manager and our acting city treasurer, is we've adopted or are about to adopt a 5-year capital improvement plan. When the city council did a tour of city facilities back in January, we realized that a lot of facilities had been underfunded or were just getting by without a lot of maintenance and had really kind of fallen into disrepair. So we asked each department to provide what their capital needs would be over the next 5 years, and we found money in the budget, primarily through SPLOST funds, to fund the capital needs of each of our departments over the next 5 years. That was a major effort to put that 5-year capital improvement plan together, and I certainly appreciate the great work that Blake Daniels did on that. On the services front, y'all may have heard about my 1,000 Tree Initiative. It seems like a minor thing, but I'm a strong believer that beauty is the expression of a well-ordered community that has respect for itself and pride in itself, and that respect and pride and beauty attracts people and contributes to our overall economic and social health. So what we're going to do over the next year is plant over 1,000 trees along right-of-way and on city properties. We're already about halfway there, and parts of the town are starting to really improve and look beautiful from that. We've also will be in the next year doubling the amount of litter pickup on the streets. Right now there's 1 crew that does litter pickup. We're doubling that to 2 crews, and we've also set aside close to $2 million for streetscape improvements. That's sidewalk repairs, crosswalks, street lights, curb and gutter, and overall beautification of our neighborhood streets. Finally, community. The community is the extra that you get after you provided for a sound economic foundation, parks, and community programs. The City Council will tonight take its first vote on providing over $1.5 million for the completion of the Stubbs Park renovation and overhaul project. If the project is completed, the stream that ran under the old Dublin Junior High School will be brought back to daylight and turned into a beautiful nature area with a well-lit, safe, and attractive walking path. In addition to that, the City Council has on its table tonight funding approximately $450,000 for improvements to the Springdale Park, which has been neglected in some ways for several years. What we really want to do is have that as a resource for the community that lives in that area, as a place to go and play and have a state-of-the-art playground for that area. In addition, we have major initiatives on the south side of town, including Riverview Golf Course. We're going to make sure that Riverview Golf Course has the funding that it needs for the next 4 years. It is a historic and beautiful facility and venue for the city of Dublin, and providing the funds that it needs to operate, I think, is going to turn that into a terrific draw for our community. As part of that, you may have heard that the Emory Thomas Auditorium, which is there adjacent to Riverview, was just placed on the National Register of Historic Places. We're providing $250,000 to renovate that facility so that it can look as good as it possibly can, and that is going to be a great draw for the community. In addition, we'll be providing a new roof and new basketball floor at Oconee Gym, and we're going to work on 2 new community centers at the old Catherine Gray Library and a potential teen center downtown. Now, these are opportunities to increase community engagement. People talk about teen centers and senior centers. What we're going to try to do is limit the amount of capital investment to start with and use it as a trial program to provide a space, a venue that nonprofit groups like Communities in Schools or Family Connections can come into and run programs for community enrichment. In addition, we're looking at doing green spaces and new parks throughout the town. The overall goal of this is to make Dublin an attractive place to live, work, and play. A place that you would want to live, a place that you would want to raise your children, a place that is ready for the future, where we have steady, sustainable, and quality growth. Thank you for allowing me these comments. Look forward to
It's that time of year again. Spring is in the air at Roach Farm and Garden. Stop worrying about food shortages when Roach Farm and Garden has all the seed, fertilizers, and a greenhouse full of veggies. Get your garden right. Somebody say timber! We got all kind of trees at Roach Farm and Garden. Dogwood, pecan, honeycrisp, and many more. It's time to fertilize your pecan trees. We got 10-10-10 with zinc. Finish off that honeydew list with garden flags, rugs, grills, griddles, and fryers. Or come check out this huge shipment of concrete statues. We got something from everybody at Roach Farm and Garden. Looking for a quick gift idea or something for yourself? We got tropical plants and ferns, local honey, and care in hand and body lotion. Somebody say feed? We carry every feed from a bunny all the way to a horse and everything in between. Speaking of bunnies, come get yours today. Come by and see us at Roach Farm and Gardens, 2 locations, Dublin and Wrightsville.
Here's a big announcement from Central Georgia Primary Care. We're proud to announce the opening of our 2nd location right here on Central Drive in East Dublin. No matter where you are, north, south, east, or west, Central Georgia Primary Care has a health professional waiting to serve you. Central Georgia Primary Care, next to Paul's Tile Industrial Boulevard in Dublin, and now at our brand new location on Central Drive in East Dublin, right next to Thomas Auto Supply. Need an appointment? Call us at 478-202-9440. Central Georgia Primary Care, waiting to serve you at both locations, Industrial Boulevard in Dublin and now on Central Drive in East Dublin.
Well, I promise to be more brief than Josh. Thank you all again for putting on this event. It's great to be able to come out and be informative to the public, kind of let you know a little bit about what we're doing. And I'll keep it very condensed because I know a lot of times we like to get up here and we like to talk and stuff, but really the audience likes to ask a lot of questions and we want to save a lot of time for that. So, from the commissioner's perspective, our focus once again is public safety. Not just, and we group a lot of stuff in public safety, not just the law enforcement part of it, but our biggest focus is on health, the safety and health of the public, response times, things of that nature. The commissioners just recently passed a approval to go out and purchase some next generation 911 equipment that's going to hopefully increase our response times to calls when they come out. It will also bring all public safety into a proximity map that will be available into all the public safety response vehicles. That will show where they're at in the location to where the public safety event is happening. Someone's having a heart attack, things of that nature. A lot of times it's hard to get there. We do a lot of things off zone lines, but we may have an ambulance that really may just be a quarter of a mile from the location, but they're in a different zone. And certainly that just doesn't make sense for that ambulance that has to come 5 miles away when we may have an ambulance that's freed up that's right there. You really don't realize that just until you actually see it and have the technology to kind of bring all those things together. It'll work the same way with the fire department as well as with law enforcement. And going along with that, the commissioners have started the planning process for our new next generation 911 center. The 911 center we're working out of right now is approximately 30 years old. Everyone in here knows how technology has increased so much over the last just 5 to 10 years. It's amazing what can be done. The commissioners have taken the approach that they're not going to spare expenses when it's talking about saving someone's life, especially when the technology is out there. It is amazing some of the things that can be done now, and as we all know, when you're dealing with people's lives, it's the minutes, the seconds that count. So our whole focus over the next couple of years, the biggest focus of our planning is just continuing to upgrade that, whether it be from our personnel, our training, to the equipment that helps guide us to those locations. Speaking of our personnel, is an ongoing challenge that the commissioners are dealing with and trying to keep qualified personnel in these medical positions. With the pandemic, things that have gone on in the past, there's such a shortage of nursing. The nation itself has created so many more pathways for our paramedics and EMTs to go directly into the nursing field. They're so trauma-based as it is that it just makes sense. So where there were a lot of barriers and a lot of time-consuming places or time-consuming methods that the paramedics had to go through, now they can basically become a paramedic, then they can do an immediate 6-month bridge to get their RN license. That's problematic for us. There can be a lot of people that are there to take care of them at the hospital, but when you're in such a large county as Lawrence County, we have to be available to treat people and patients as we get them to the emergency room. So the commissioners are focusing a lot on doing our own in-house training. We've started up our own EMS Training Academy, where we're trying to reach people from as early as in high school level to bring them into the field of emergency medical care and try to bring them right on up into it. And then if they want to migrate to the nursing strategy or the nursing field later on in life, that's great. It's there for them, but we're trying to keep them excited about the frontline care. So that's something we'll continue to focus on. We think by providing the highest level of technology out there available to them, as well as the care, we can kind of help retain them for that. So the commissioners will continue to invest in that. From a legislative standpoint, since Matt and Larry are both here, I just want to congratulate and thank y'all for passing the mental health bill. That's one thing I wanted to sit there and discuss a little bit about here today, because it used to be out of sight, out of mind. Now everybody sees it. And when I talk about the mental health, it's so many of the homeless people. We're dealing with them right on our campuses of the government complex, at the courthouse and administrative place. They're out there. A lot of people, you see them, you may not recognize what's going on, but we're dealing with them on a daily basis. When the Central State was closed down, they were turned loose in our communities, and it's become a problem. The jail is not a place for those people, but a lot of times that's the only place we have to take them right now. I think the legislature, the counties and cities came together this year and made a great step forward in trying to fix this problem. It's costing all of us tons of money, especially at the local level. I alluded to the fact they end up in the jails. When the doors of those jails are closed and that key turns, taxpayer dollars start spending immediately, and it's expensive. It's expensive to house, whether it be a criminal there or if it's a mental health person there. But like I said, unfortunately, that's really about the only place for some of these mental health people to go. But the legislature did do some great things, and working with ACCG and GMA, which is our our counterparts in the city to try to start getting some things together. We've got a long ways to go. I would encourage each of y'all to, when you see an article about it in the paper, look at it, read it. It's going to be some ongoing legislation, I think, for many years, because it's going to take that long to fix the problem. But it is a problem in our community. It's a problem everywhere. My Board of Commissioners sees that, and we're trying to get at the forefront of it to try to provide some care and outlets that will give them relief, as well as the citizens some relief. So that's about it. Thank you.
The City of Dublin, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Your city to live, work, and play.
When you start with career training at Oconee Fall Line Technical College, you'll discover a diverse student body, strong students who are focused and disciplined, and a caring environment that gives you a vision to succeed. OFTC's 130-plus programs will prepare you to start a new career in 2 years or less. Plus, it's affordable. Ready for a successful career? Start with OFTC today, online or in person. Oconee Fall Line Technical College. Careers begin here.
F. Lake and the staff at Lakes Alignment has been serving Lawrence and surrounding counties since 1954, offering you the best in suspension, alignment, and tire services. And now Elp and Lisa Lake are proud to announce the addition of Neil Harden and our 24-hour truck, trailer, and tire repair facility with state-of-the-art equipment. Lake's Tire Facility is conveniently located to I-16 and all roads throughout Middle Georgia. Call on us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for truck, trailer, and tire repair. Call 272-4230, serving the Southeast for over 65 years. Lakes Alignment, and now 24-hour truck, trailer, and tire repair.
Well, thank you again to the Chamber for hosting this event. It still amazes me that you're able to get people to pay to come listen to us. I just still can't figure that out, but I'm glad you do, and I enjoy coming and seeing everybody and trying to give a little bit of an update of what we did this past session and where we are. It was a busy session. It's probably the busiest session I've ever experienced. And Larry and I have talked about in the past, and Larry and I, we work great together. We're kind of in our own areas, but once crossover day happens, we merge a lot more than we do before that. But Larry's helping lead the Senate, and I'm trying to help lead the House. So we're both busy. We're even busier this time of the year than people know, because the responsibilities we have with our caucus, we're both very involved in the election process and trying to make sure our members come back. And the members that left, we've got over 50 total members in the House and Senate that are not coming back. So there's that many open seats, and then you always have people that don't get reelected, and new people that come in. But we're busy now. Of course, y'all know, if you hadn't heard, there's a primary coming up. Y'all heard about that? So on with what we did and what we tried to do, and some accomplishments. I've had some stuff I was just going to mainly talk about, and that was money. But since Brian brought up the mental health bill, I'll just touch on that just a little. You know, there's an article in today's Wall Street Journal. No, I don't read it every day, but happened to see this today that talks about the mental health problem across the whole country. If you get a chance to read it, it's very enlightening, and it's pretty blunt. And the process that took place years ago to move the people out of the institutions and into the communities was a great idea, but they've been neglected in the communities, and people, ignore them. And with what we've been through over the last couple of years, you read every day about the increase in suicide of our teens and our younger adults, and just it's just a non-ending problem. And hopefully, what we did this year will help stop some of the progression in the mental health crisis we've got. We invested $140 million additional dollars in mental health, and it's a broad just all over the place. You know, increase reimbursement rates for providers, put in new systems hopefully that'll get ramped up to do outpatient mental health care, so they're not in a, you know, those that are in the community, they still come in and check in somewhere every day to make sure they're getting their medication. Most all mental health is treatable. You know, years ago it wasn't, but we've advanced and it's treatable as long as those that recognize it and know are taking medication. Most all of it is treatable. But thanks for that, mentioning that, Brian, and it's, you know, it's real. We've all been touched by someone that's had mental health issues, and hopefully we can surpass that. How many of y'all like paying your taxes? Nobody? Nobody likes paying taxes? Well, hopefully we worked on that. We were able to reduce we flattened the income tax bracket. There's one bracket now, and we lowered the state income tax to 5.49. It's the largest reduction in history. It's over like $1.4 billion reduction in taxes. And we put in process the ability to reduce that 0.1% a year until it gets down to 4.99. But there's different parameters that you have to meet every year. We put those in place. So hopefully that'll help. You'll help see a little bit in your pocket, stay in your pocket. We increased the standard deductions drastically. I'm not going to go over, but it's a big jump in your standard deductions. We also passed a legislation that will exempt income on veterans' retirement income up to $17,500, and exempted the income that individual may encounter or earn an additional $17,500 from any other job they may have. So we put in that's a military retirement income tax exemption up to $35,000 a year. And as I know is on everybody's mind, we suspended the gas tax through the end of this month. Well, you might not notice it. You did, I think, when it first happened, but the estimate on that when we first did it was $400 million. And there are serious talks going on right now about extending it. It's a lot of money. It's money to stay in your pocket, and I don't know where this is headed. None of us do. We don't have a crystal ball, but hopefully things will one day settle out. But if that does happen and it's continued, then I'm sure it'll be in the news. We also are sending some money back to you. If you paid taxes last year and this year, you'll be getting $250 to $500, depending on how you file. Some people are already getting it. One of my daughters has gotten it. The other one hadn't. I hadn't seen it yet, but it's coming. $250 for individual, $500 if you file jointly, $375 if you're at a household. So how do we do that? I wondered the same thing. But I'll just say, since I've been there, since Larry's been there, we've had very conservative budgets. We haven't given a lot of raises. We've made adjustments where we needed to. Some of them have worked, some of them hadn't. And I'll talk about some of what we did with the actual budget in just a minute. But because of the conservative budgeting and because of what happened during the pandemic, that we were able to get back open, and our leadership took that initiative to go ahead and get us back open. And we did something in April of 20, I think I talked about it, but that nobody knew how much it would create or what it would capture. But we did finally get a sales tax in place for internet sales. And that happened April of 20, went into effect April 1st. We passed it before we shut down for the pandemic. But I think that truly helped keep us on more of a constant sales tax revenue coming in without seeing the big drop that a lot of states had seen. So that has helped. We did cut the budget right after after we adjourned and came back. We cut it 10%, and probably didn't need to, but we did. And it hindsight's 20/20. We ended up doing good. We ended up sales tax and income tax collections maintained. I think there was 1 or 2 months it was actually down from the year before, and we can seen that increase every month since. We had 1 month that didn't go up as much as others, and next month will be a true, or this month will be a true guide to see what is going to continue. But because of all that, we had too much money. We can only keep so much in reserve by law, and we had to give it back. And we were able to give raises. We gave every state employee a $5,000 a year raise. Sokola hadn't had one in over 10 years. We adjusted the teachers. The teachers had already received a $3,000, and they got an additional $2,000. And you ask, well, why are y'all giving everybody a raise? We have a turnover rate of 24% in the state. Would y'all like to have that in any of your businesses? The Department of Corrections turnover was 90%. And y'all can imagine why. I mean, Brian probably deals with that at the local jail, but we had to do something. We're losing employees to fast food restaurants. So we've adjusted. We took some big changes in some departments and corrected some of that. And hopefully we'll end up keeping, training, and having more higher quality employees. And you, in return, when you have something you need from one of the services that the state provides, you will get better service. So that's how we were able to do it. I already talked about the mental health bill. As far as the voting bill that we discussed last year, a lot. We did this year. We tried to do 3 or 4 things, but only one actually passed both houses, and the governor signed. We did give the GBI original jurisdiction over the elections, so they don't have to be asked by the governor to go investigate any of the elections, so that they can do it. The mental health bill, just really, it's huge. A lot of discussion about it when it was going on, but it's going to allow parity with regular health care. And I'm going to hush and let Larry come talk. I'm sure y'all have questions. But we did it. That's just a minor part of all the legislation we did. I told you it was the roughest session I've had. I've always gotten through and gone right back to work. But we finished on early Tuesday morning of the 5th, and I came home and I was like a vegetable. I mean, I was just mentally and physically worn out. So I took the rest of the week off. But it was a trying session. I think we accomplished a lot.
When you want convenience, you want Neighbors Express, where you'll always find friendly, courteous service every time you visit us. Fill up with pay at the pump. Take advantage of our bigger and better selection of beverages and tobacco products. Enjoy our popular crushed ice with your favorite fountain drink. And you can always enjoy a fresh hot breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So stop by and see us today, where it's always convenient and friendly. Neighbors Express, locations at I-16 at 441 and in Cedar Grove, where we provide farm fuel for all our customers. When you want convenience, you want Neighbors Express.
Spring has sprung here at Dublin Chevy Nissan in Dublin, Georgia. Our inventory is blooming with new Pathfinders, Frontiers, Yukons, and Tahoes. And with spring break coming up, there's never a better time to come into our award-winning service department for a checkup. And remember, Doug sells service well. With that spring trip coming up, there's never a better time to find a new or pre-owned SUV. If you see an HD or a Tahoe on our lot or online, don't wait or you'll miss out. Hurry in to Dublin Chevy Nissan.
The City of Dublin Natural Gas provides the most cost-efficient source of energy available today. So for your home, choose the most natural resource. Safe, clean, efficient. All new subdivisions around the Dublin area have natural gas available. Start reducing your energy bills today with Dublin City Natural Gas Department. Natural gas, the smart choice. Call 277-5048 today and let us help you start saving today.
Well, good afternoon. It's really good to be in Lawrence County again. I've been here, this is my 3rd day in a row of being over here. Yesterday I was met with a very successful and growing business. And then I had the wonderful opportunity, the state school superintendent, Richard Woods, was here, and we had a presentation over at the Irish Gifted Academy to a remarkable fourth grader that has read over 6 million words. And she was a really bright kid, and that was encouraging. And then I got to go to a real nice event for Governor Kemp at one of your new restaurants, Saltwater Fisheries, and it was on the rooftop, and I felt like I was in Buckhead or New Orleans or Savannah. It was just remarkable, and just made me really proud for what all you all have going on over here. If I keep coming on this basis, I'm probably going to have to file a homestead exemption in Lawrence County, but and I've already identified some people in the audience that have some extra bedrooms, so I may be calling on y'all. But thank you, Heath, and to the Chamber for putting this on. It's always a fun opportunity, and it's really well attended today. I'm like Matt, I'm shocked. I guess y'all came to hear from the city and the county, but this is a great crowd. And I want to thank Oconee and Altamaha EMCs for always being generous to sponsor this. And I'm a big fan of the EMCs. They are member owned, and they serve their members, and they are passionate about serving their members, and they are tremendous partners throughout the state of Georgia for economic development. And they've been very helpful over here in Lawrence County with economic development projects and all throughout my district. Recently, I was able to attend a Flip the Switch event at a 700-acre solar farm south of Perry, right on I-75. Some of you may have noticed it. It's very visible. But the Georgia Green Power EMC is involved in that, and that is a sort of a co-op of all the other EMCs. So they are on the cutting edge of renewable energy and technology and broadband, and we're fortunate to have such a strong EMC system in Georgia. I want to thank the mayor and county administrator for their presentation. That's very interesting and informative. And you know, these are the men and the Dublin City Council and the Lawrence County Commissioners. They're really the ones on the front line that are the boots on the ground dealing with everyday issues, and they've got a very, very tough job. Matt and I get to go hide in Atlanta for at least 3 months a year, so we're a little bit removed from the day-to-day, but we are trying to be supportive. I love working with Matt Hatchett. Y'all are fortunate to have him. I'm fortunate to have him as a friend. We did reapportionment since we last met. We did reapportionment in November for the congressional districts and the House and Senate districts. And my ask with my reapportionment chairman, John Kennedy, was that I want to keep all of Lawrence County. And fortunately, I was able to do that. And part of the reason is I love this community. We lived here at one time. I know what kind of fine people are here. But the other is I enjoy working with Matt Hatchett so much. And he's in leadership in the House and is very influential and has been very helpful to me. So thank you, Matt. This community's got a legacy of strong leadership. Matt's following in that footsteps. Some of you in the audience come to my mind when I think about the strong leadership here in Lawrence County. I was admiring Representative Hatchett's jacket and the buttons on his jacket. And he told me that Dr. J. Roy Rowland gave me that jacket. And what a fine life he led. I'm sorry, but he was good friends with my dad and good friends with me and very supportive of me and a real inspiration. And that's the kind of leader I aspire to be. So I'll miss him, and I know you all will too. We passed a really big budget. over $30 billion, about a 10% increase. The reason we have such a large budget is we have a prosperous and growing state. We're almost 11 million people in Georgia, so a lot of needs there. We've got a vibrant economy in Georgia thanks to the leadership of Governor Kemp and the legislature of keeping Georgia open and using common sense in dealing with this pandemic. And as Governor Kemp likes to say, protecting lives and livelihoods. So we're fortunate to have had the kind of leadership we have and have the economy we have. The pay raises are very important because of the turnover that we've seen. I'm proud we were able to do that. We fully funded the Quality Basic Education Formula, which was passed under the Joe Frank Harris administration in the 80s. My father was involved with that. And that formula has not been fully funded until 2019. And we finally fully funded it, and then the pandemic hit and we cut it. But we restored those cuts, and so the Quality Basic Education Act has been fully funded. We also were able to restore the austerity cuts to the University System of Georgia, which allowed them to eliminate the special institution fee every semester, which will save Georgia families and help with the situation that a lot of students face, maybe having to go into debt to go to school. Under Representative Hatchett's leadership, we've done a lot of stuff with the Middle Georgia State University that I'm very proud of. Brian mentioned the nursing shortage as it related to EMTs and paramedics, and we put money into Middle Georgia State University for the Dublin campus to expand their nursing program in partnership with the hospital here. I'm really proud of that. Matt and I supported it, but Matt's really the leader on a lot of this stuff. Got money for the technical college system, the technical college here, Oconee Fall Line, to build a new building, Matt, or renovate a building and expand their truck driving and diesel mechanics program. We have a crisis throughout Georgia trying to find truck drivers and diesel mechanics, so we're very excited about that. I kind of primarily helped get a grant for East Dublin, an ARPA grant for their a water and sewer project. So we're hard at work in Atlanta trying to represent you and be responsive to the local community's needs. I'll agree with Matt, it was the hardest. This is my 7th session. By far, it was the hardest working session I've had, but it was the most productive session I've ever seen either, so it was very good. He mentioned the income tax break for military retirement. That has a two-prong effect, I think. First, it shows appreciation for the service of our military, but it also will help us with our workforce challenges that we see. It should help us retain people that are exiting the military, and of course a lot of them leave the military after just 20 years of service. They're in their 40s. They still have a second career, and we want to retain those people in Georgia to help with our workforce challenges. They've proven they have discipline, they've got good training, good experience. We need them to stay here. A lot of our bases, if you think about Fort Gordon or Benning or down in Savannah or Valdosta, they're on the border. These people can easily move to another state or commute or whatever. We want them to be Georgia citizens and be a productive part of our economy. So I'm very proud of that. The base, Robins Air Force Base, is a huge economic driver for this whole region. And so I've been very interested in veteran issues and military issues. And we have, since I've been up there, we've passed over 60 different military-friendly, veteran-friendly pieces of legislation. One we've worked really hard on, and we probably will have to continue to work on, is the reciprocity for military spouses. So when a military person gets moved here into Georgia, stationed here, and his wife is a dental hygienist or a hairdresser or whatever, we want to have licensed reciprocity so that they can quickly go to work and start taking care of their family here in Georgia. Ag, I'm chairman of the Senate Ag Committee. I'm really proud to tell you that after about 4 years of work, we passed the Freedom to Farm Act. That's been the #1 priority for the Georgia Farm Bureau for a number of years. What that is to give immunity from liability to establish farms for lawsuits involving nuisances such as dust, noise, odor, smoke, that kind of thing. So it's a sort of a tort reform type measure for our #1 industry, which is still agriculture, to keep farmers from being sued once they're established, sued by their neighbor. It was a tough bill to get passed, but we tried to balance the property rights of both the farmer and their neighboring property, and I think we struck a good balance, and glad we finally got that passed. A few years ago, we passed a law or a pilot program to put ag education in the elementary schools, and that was tremendously successful. So we've now rolled that out, and it's not a mandate for any school system, but it makes ag education for elementary schools available to any school district in the state that wants to take advantage of that. And I think that's mighty exciting. First, we want our children to understand where our food comes from and understand about agriculture, but it's a real good hands-on way to teach kids about science and math and technology. And you know, I think a lot of children learn a lot quicker and get more excited if they can kind of have a hands-on project to work on. Speaking of technology and agriculture, I put a good bit of money in the budget for integrated precision agriculture, which is basically applying the new technology to farm equipment and ag practices so that our farmers can remain efficient and become more efficient. Farming is a difficult proposition. It takes a tremendous amount of capital to farm, and nowadays you're seeing all the input costs, fertilizer, chemicals, seed, diesel fuel, equipment, all that stuff has just gone sky high. And so our farmers have to be extremely efficient, and we're going to have a research and development farm across from the fairgrounds, the Agri Center in Perry, a 200-acre farm, to use the latest technology for our farmers. For example, you would have on the fertilizer side, which fertilizer is really expensive, you would map a field, you would do soil samples over your field, and you would map that and then tie it in with GPS, and you would have a variable application fertilizer spreader, and as the fertilizer spreader goes over the field, it would apply the precise, correct amount of fertilizer in each part of the field, thus not wasting fertilizer or not under-fertilizing. So that's just one example of the type of technology the University System of Georgia is working on, and I'm excited to put money into support of that. But
let's give these gentlemen a round of applause again. And on behalf of the Chamber, I want to say thank you for coming out and helping us make today and every day a great day for business in Dublin-Lawrence County. And also, let's give one more round of applause to Oconee and Altamaha EMC. Thank you, and we are adjourned.
Have you heard about the new general store in Mentor? Drop by Mentor General Store today at 2201 Highway 29 South. We've got breakfast, lunch, and dinner cooked fresh every day, 7 days a week. At Mentor General Store, we have all types of feed, rabbit feed, dog feed, horse feed, or any feed for your livestock. We've got you covered. Going fishing? Minter General Store has your bait and tackle, coolers, and all your fish and tackle. Minter General Store for groceries, feed, fishing supplies, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. Well, you get the picture. Minter General Store's got you covered. Minter General Store, right down from Union Baptist Church. Call ahead at 279-5726. Minter General Store in the heart of Minter, Georgia.